Hello everyone and welcome back to another Batman Miniature Game 3rd Edition Battle Report. Today we have a 350 rep Batman crew themed around the Dark Knight Rises versus a 350 rep crew of the League of Assassins, also kind of themed around the Dark Knight Rises, which means that, weirdly, their leader will be Bane, but we can go into more details about that when we look at the crews in detail. Please do continue to show your support if you want to see more of these in the future. And anything else I can remember. Oh, yes. The Top Hatted Hamster. If you want to purchase anything from them, there's a discount code in the description box below that you can use for some money off your order. Not an affiliation link. Not getting paid to mention that or anything like that, just to make that clear. But it is an option if you want. Although do keep in mind, Night Models have been dragging their heels getting stock to third-party retailers, unfortunately. But that's not on them. That's on Night Models purely. Anyway, let's look at the crews. So there is just 5 minis, technically, in the Batman list, again, themed around the Dark Knight Rises. So the Christian Bale Batman is coming along, but he has taken the hilariously overpriced, probably ineffective, but we're still going to give it a go, Tumbler. It's the Batmobile. Tumbler upgrade, so he's going to be inside that. He can't use any of his own traits when he's inside the Batmobile. He can choose willingly, or if that gets destroyed, to become the Batpod, which is the motorbike, and then he can also just take that off to be normal Christian Bale Batman if he wants as well. Probably not going to be effective. It wasn't in 2nd edition. Haven't tried it in 3rd edition, so why not? And then he also is being joined by his Alfred Pennyworth. We have the Dark Knight Rises Catwoman, and we have new supervillain, one of my dog's hairs as well, new supervillain, Officer Merkel, and the JCPD detective. Now there is some upgrades here. Let's see if I can remember them off the top of my head. Upgraded Batsuit, radio and handcuffs, ammo, and I think one of them has a radio as well. I've forgotten offhand though. But yeah, that's the important ones, because Alfred is going to be kind of, if Christian Bale Batman is inside the Batmobile, he's going to be up the field, so Alfred needs a radio to be able to do stuff in the back line. That's the thinking there. And Catwoman has undercover, so she'll be deploying outside of deployment as well. I think the GCPD detective was given street patrol, which also gives him undercover, although I think that was irrelevant because he is hidden. Although I guess there are situations where undercover, well, they more or less do the same thing. Hidden is deploy anywhere as long as you can't be seen. Undercover is up to 8 outside deployment. Depending on how the deployment goes, one might be more useful than the other, but either way, there was funding to spare because of Alfred. So that is the crew. I don't think it's going to be effective, just to make that 100% clear. But hey, we'll give the Batmobile a chance and see how it goes. So there is a massive 9 miniatures in this League of Assassins list, and yes, it is being led by Bane. The Dark Knight Rises Bane, as well as Barsad and Merc 2, 1, either way from the Dark Knight Rises box set. They're dual affiliation, Soldiers of Fortune and League of Assassins. This Talia is just League of Assassins, so she's also coming along. Then we have Acolytes 1, 2, 3, 4, they're probably not in the correct order, from the new 3rd edition releases for the League of Assassins. And then because of the points left over, Cheap and Cheerful has a scene 2 just to fill space. Barsad has a extra magazine, and I think that about covers it. So although Bane's card can be included in the objective deck, this is a League of Assassins themed crew, so they have those cards, not the Soldiers of Fortune ones. And yeah, they're going to be flooding the board with mini bodies. So both crews are deployed using the different table edges from last time. The Batman crew is on your left, and the League of Assassins crew is on your right. The Batman crew is going first, although they have a plethora of passes they can choose to use if they wish, and there is one card being played in Phase 1/2 of Battle Round 1 by the League of Assassins. They are playing a From the Shadows, not super likely to score, however, it's just to get it out of the hand. Target an enemy model, mark it as an objective. If the model is the first one removed as a casualty this round, score this card. The target will be JCPD Detective. We'll go over where he is in a second. Merkel is down there. I erroneously stated he had ammo. Going over the list, he also has a radio. Catwoman, undercover, has deployed ahead of the actual deployment line, which is 8 inches up. So she's hiding under there with Audacity. The Batmobile is there with Audacity. And we can see the League of Assassins are just in a line, basically. And you can see who has Audacity. And then JCPD Detective, who has Hidden, is there, out of line of sight, also has Audacity. And Alfred is over there without, but again, he has a radio, so he'll have a free Inspire from Batman as well. So with that, and with From the Shadows in play, we are ready to get started. So perhaps expectantly, one of the Batman crew's 4 passes was used, so it was over to the League. They activated Mercenary 2 first. He did have Audacity. He came around the corner all the way up here to the sewer grating behind this here, put down a suspect marker, touching the sewer grating, but did nothing else. Another pass was used, so League Acolyte 1 activated. He did not have Audacity, but he was within 8 of Tom Hardy Bane, so he did get a free manipulate. He moved forwards, not his full movement. He just moved there, well outside of the 4 of that suspect marker, and put down one of his own. The Batman crew finally decided to activate someone, and it was Alfred. No Audacity. He moved forward, and then thanks to his radio, he counts as inspired. He is a henchman. He put down a suspect marker, except it's not a suspect marker, it is a snitch. Now, something important to mention about snitch cards. This is being filmed prior to the objective card pack being released in the April releases from Night Models, but the digital version of the cards have been uploaded, and the wording on the snitch card has been changed and clarified. There's a new sentence at the end of the description for it. It's also much more succinct, which is very nice. That basically says, at the end of the round, whether it scores or not, it reverts back to a normal suspect marker. So it's wonderful that they finally clarified that, because it never clarified it here. So whether it scores or not, that will still be there, but it will revert back to a normal suspect marker. Sadly, they didn't do the same for the It Doesn't Look Fresh cards, which kind of implies they just stay fish forever. But who knows on that regard. But hey, at least they cleared that one up. Assassin 2, who started roughly there-ish, did not have Audacity, but he did activate next. He was within 8 of Bane, so he moved up, and using the free manipulate, he put down a suspect marker. So that's the third marker out versus 1 for the Batman crew. Batman in his tumbler activated. He moved forward a little bit to the edge of the scenery element here, then used his once per game boosted jump. You place him within 8 of his position, so he bounced up on top of this, giving him a very nice line of fire. Now, he has 2 weapons in his Batmobile. He has it all does stun damage though, weirdly. He's got a machine gun and a rocket launcher, and they all do stun. So, he shot his machine gun, which is assault, so he can avoid losing dice for moving and shooting if he's willing to take a -1. And he shot at the Falconry Acolyte, who's only defense 3, so that gave him good chances to get hits through. 3 got through for 2, 4, 6, which is more than enough to knock him out, because he has 5 willpower. And in doing so, he was able to score for a quick 1 victory point. First point on the board for a dirty job, make an opponent KO or a casualty. Simple as that. Now, he is tanky. If anyone shoots at him, he's got heavy armor, so they lose 3 dice just automatically. He also avoids 2 stun damage for each attack that hits him as well. But, like, Barsad could probably still crack it if he wanted to waste his turn doing that. I don't know, we'll see. Acolyte 2 was next up. He was right next to Bane, so he had free manipulate action for the Inspire. He hopped the little bricks there and put down a suspect marker. It is outside of 4 of each of those, but that is a nice little line of them there as well, bringing the total number on the board for the League up to 4, I think. The Batman crew used a pass, leaving them with 1. So Talia activated without Audacity. She's not a henchman, she's a sidekick, so no free Inspire. She just moved up a little bit to this side of the barricade and did nothing else with her turn. The final pass was used, so the League activated the other bow-wielding Acolyte up here. He moved forward to the edge there to give him better eyes on of this whole area here. Didn't have Audacity, so he did nothing else. So now someone in the Batman crew has to activate, and I think they have Catwoman, Merkel, and the Detective still to choose from. So Catwoman activated. She has like 12 inches of movement base, plus she's an acrobat. She moved around here. She is illuminated by the light, but as I said, she's an acrobat. She's defense 5, so she should be okay. In theory. She shot her automatic pistol into the Acolyte here. She moved, so she lost 2 dice, so she was just rolling 2 normals against his defense 4. They got through, normally 1 blood, 1 stun each. However, a non-lethal ammo is being played, so all the damage is converted to stun, so that is 4 stun. He's still conscious. I don't think this Talia has mind control substance either, so it's not an instant wake up for henchmen on their side. But either way, that's another 2 victory points scored for the Batman crew. So thanks to the KO on this guy, second last activation for the League of Assassins, which I hope I haven't been calling Soldiers of Fortune because of Bane. But Bane activated for the League, not any soldiers, for the League. He moved up, he's pretty fast, Tom Hardy Bane. He moved there, nothing else for him to do this turn. Perhaps he's thinking about climbing the stairs and punching a Batmobile to death next turn, who knows. He did use his special action though to use Gun of Them on this guy to give him 2 extra attack dice next time he attacks. Didn't do it on that guy because he's so close to being knocked out. Officer Merkel activated and his bloodlust hasn't set in yet. He moved up to here, firing just 1 die after moving and firing with his riot shotgun into this Acolyte over here to try and finish off the rest of his stun damage to knock him out, and whiffed with the 1 die, got to roll against defense 4. So that's it for him. It's over to Barsad to end the turn for the League of Assassins, and then back over to JCPD Detective to end Battle Round 1 proper. So fearing that JCPD Detective might take some shots at him, Barsad stayed where he was because he's in cover with the wire there, and he decided to shoot his assault rifle up at the Batmobile. He loses 3 dice just for attempting it, so that meant he was just rolling the 1. The Batmobile gives -1 defense to Christian Bale Batman, so it puts him at defense 4. The die got through though, so that is 3 blood of the 5 endurance the Batmobile has, so 2 more health and it'll break automatically if he doesn't opt to change down to the Batpod at the start of the next turn anyway. So, over to the GCPD Detective. So GCPD Detective, he came around the corner, he moved and fired, so just rolling 2 dice against Assassin 1 or 2, whichever number he is, and another non-lethal ammo was played, turning his blood stun pistol into double stun. Only one of its 2 shots got through for 2 stun. If both had gone through, it would have knocked him out, which would have been nice, but still scored a card. That will obviously just immediately turn down to 1 because we're at the end of the turn, but we'll go over that and what's scoring as well as this in a second. So then about round 1, the Acolyte that was knocked out did not wake up, and this Talia does not have mind control substance to make it just happen. So he is not getting a turn next activation either. The From the Shadows that was in play does not score, because the League of Assassins didn't take anybody out, so that's just gone. They did, however, in phase 4, score and eradicate the Order for having more suspect markers in play than the opponents. The opponents have 1, and they have like 4. So that has scored, put them on the scoreboard for a nice 3. The Snitch has scored for the Batman crew, also giving them 3, and as per the new translation on the new coming at time of recording objective deck, the Snitch will now revert to a normal suspect marker. So I think that covers everything. Everyone who is conscious and has stun damage has healed 1, and with that we can go into battle round 2. So here is the board state. At the top of turn 2 is the League of Assassins going first, and another From the Shadows is being played, and this time the person with the price on their head or the target on their head is JCP Detective all the way up that end of the table. So he is now worth 2 victory points if he's the first model removed at this turn, so that's in play. No other cards being played. You can see who has Audacity: JCPD Detective, Catwoman, the Batmobile, and Merkel and the Detective. Alfred doesn't. Barsad, the Assassin, the buffed Acolyte with the knives because he's got +2 attack from Bane. Bane himself, they all have Audacity for the League. So, with that, let's see if JCPD Detective gets murderized. So the Assassin with Audacity activated, he went into base to base with the JCPD Detective. He efforted the full 3 times, so did the JCPD Detective, and he actually managed to fully block the attacks he went through. He rolled really well for his defense. The strength I didn't get through. So although he has taken 3 stun damage now, he is very much alive and has a chance to run away if he wants to. So of course the JCPD Detective activated in an attempt to save his life with the target on his head. However, a mistake first of all. The Assassin actually has 1 less willpower than all the Acolytes and whatnot, so he could not have efforted 3 times. So it's just as well he did no damage because he should have been rolling 1 less die. Either way though, the JCP Detective used the last of his ammunition point blank. His pistol has light, so he can just shoot it point blank. He got every hit through for 4 blood, 4 stun. Not enough to kill him, but more than enough with his own self-inflicted efforts to knock him out. He then used his special action to arrest, and that scored Get Them Off the Streets. So he is gone, and then he isn't able to use that, so he ran away into there and is now hiding out of line of sight. Acolyte 4 activated and played Multiple Threats, which I think might be the first time seeing this objective card for a League team being played on the channel. At the start of any of your activations, place up to 6 numeric counters on friendly suspect markers, 1 counter per suspect marker. If a suspect marker with a counter is revealed, then remove it. At the end of a turn, roll a d6. If the result matches any of the leftover counters, score the card. So there's a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. So at the end of a turn, roll a d6. If it matches any of the dice on those counters left over, that card will score for 3. For his actual turn, he didn't have Audacity, so all he did was shoot his double blood arrow, or arrows I guess, because it's 1 plus the strength die, at Merkel. Both got through. So Merkel took 4 damage and has 1 health remaining. Officer Merkel activated, sensing his end is perhaps near. He moved into base to base with the suspect marker here, used his free manipulate from his radio to reveal it, and then shot His shotgun point blank, just getting the one die because he moved and fired again. Did not get through, however, in revealing the suspect marker though, he did get a comb through everything. So you can draw 2 and then discard 1, but more importantly, scores 2. I think the thing with this Batman crew is they're going to score a lot early, and then they're going to get whittled down, and it's going to be harder for them to score, so they really need to get as many cards scored at first as possible. Bane activated, and he was going to go climb up and punch the Batmobile, but double checked the 3rd edition version of the upgrade card PDF, and it only it specifies that only blood damage is applied to the endurance card first. It doesn't say anything, or the upgrade card, sorry. It doesn't say anything about stun damage, so that presumably still gets applied to the person inside. So he'd be losing so many dice walking up there and punching the Batmobile that it isn't worth it because he couldn't knock out Christian Bale Batman. So instead he went after Catwoman. She's defense 5, but he's a close combat master, so he gets rerolls. He only got 2 punches through, all said and done, so she took 4 stun. She has 2 stun damage left. Not an ideal turn, but that's, what the 3rd edition upgrade card thing says. The Batmobile activated from perched up there. He shot his machine guns into his, for some reason not blood, machine guns into the Acolyte with the dual blades and knocked him out, as you can see, very comfortably with 8 stun. He then moved. Now, you can't jump or climb, so it has to be a fall, but it was a fall well within his 14 movement, so no damage taken there. A little bit awkwardly placed, but the Batmobile is on the move and threatening many people. His gun can be used every turn and has unlimited ammo. His rocket launcher has reload, but there was no one gathered together enough that it would catch anyone. Merc 2 activated. He unloaded his pistol without audacity, so this was all he did. Into Merkel, 3 blood, 3 stun. Each hit was 1 blood, 1 stun. The Merkel we know and love, or maybe not because he's a supervillain now, has perished and has been removed. Alfred, aka Michael Caine, activated without audacity, but thanks to his radio, he had a free manipulate. He moved forwards ever so slightly and put down another snitch, just outside of 4 of the previous one that's become a normal suspect marker. I don't think anyone can get to it at this point, but who knows, either way it's in play. Oh, and with Merkel's demise, obviously the From the Shadows has not scored, so it's just getting discarded right now, because it's not scoring. Barsat activated, walked around the cover he had been using, and just placed down a suspect marker. Because it's been placed down after multiple threats activated, it doesn't get a counter on it, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it's when the card gets played, so no counter on that one. So it's just the 1, 3, and 4 counters still on the table. Catwoman activated and wanted to try for an easy knockout. Sadly, it didn't work out that way. She went over here, she attacked this Acolyte who's been doing remarkably well with just not taking damage. Even though he's so close to being knocked out, he's got 3 stun on him of his 5 willpower. She wasn't able to get any hits through, and she does blood stun with her heals, so he's still conscious. And was that the last activation for the Batman crew? I think it might have been with Miracle's demise. So now Talia, him, and that might be it for the League. Get to go. So we can just quickly cover those last 2 activations. This Acolyte turned around, tried to attack Catwoman, and did nothing to her. Talia, without audacity, she just kind of fled over here, not doing too much. So that does take us to recovery and scoring and whatnot for Battle Round 2. So at the end of Round 2, everyone who is conscious has healed 1 stun. Neither of the unconscious Acolytes have woken up, which is a disaster for the League of Assassins. The other Talia would have been very handy. So the Snitch has scored for the Batman crew, and that will revert to a normal suspect marker as we start Round 3. Another in Phase 4, Eradicate the Order, is being played by the League, have more suspect markers in play than the opponent. They've got 2, and they have 4, with 1 burst I'd put down. So that scores. Now we need to quickly see if the other card scores. That would be a 6, so that means that multiple threats does not score. So presumably, does this stay in play? At the end of the round, roll 1d6. If the result matches any of the numeric counters, score this card. It doesn't say it goes away at the end of the round. I don't know, that's one of those odd situations where I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to say it does, because then if you get another one down, you could have a chance to put counters on more than what might be left on the table. So here's how things are looking at the top of turn 3. It will be the League of Assassins getting first activation. You may notice that the Batmobile is gone. Batman has optionally split, ripped open the Batmobile, so he's on the Batpod now and has his disruptor. He turns off lights and an AoE around him. And more importantly, he has access to all his Batman rolls as well as the bike rolls. The bike has 4 ablative health, I think. Everyone on the Batman crew has Audacity, because there's only 4 of them left. The Audacity for the League is on Bane, the Acolyte there, Talia, and Barsad. There's one objective card being played. It is it's the Final from the Shadows, and it's being played on the GCPD detective who's hiding in there. Barsad is going to go... No, it's not. It's being played on Alfred, because Alfred is a squishier target, invisible to Barsad, who is going to try and murder him immediately as we jump into Battle Round 3. So yeah, Barsad used the last of his ammo on poor Alfred, and as you might be able to see, he took every single hit for 12 damage, meaning that he is very dead. Now, they didn't actually score on any additional cards, but it does proc the From the Shadows, so one actually finally scored for 2, but nothing else beyond that. Obviously, Alfred's not getting a turn, and now there's only 3 Batman miniatures left on the field. So Batman on his Batpod activated, he chucked batarangs at this Acolyte, and he did a better job than everyone else did. 2 got through, 4 stun, knocked him out, no turn for him. He then decided to go into base to base with this Acolyte, the falconry one, and arrest him, because this Batman has arrest, so that he used every action, tactical, special, and movement, and scored another, get them off the streets. Talia activated, she moved up, she had Audacity this time, she put down a suspect marker, and has scored the first for this game under their noses. Place a suspect marker within 4 inches of an enemy suspect marker. Done and done. JCPD Cop activated, he's out of ammo, so he moved, and you might notice that there's 7 next to him there. That's because Wait for Backup was played. Another card I don't think we've seen here. Played during an activation of a friendly model with a cop trait, roll 1d6 plus 1, so sadly he rolled a 6, hence the 7, and pick a board edge. He's picked this edge here. Produce a counter by 1 at the end of every subsequent model's activation. If at 0 he is within 4 of the edge and not killed or casualtied, score this card. So this will stay in play till the end of the game. So there is enough models that it should count down by the end of the next turn, but yeah, it's in play now. It's a shame he rolled a 6, but what can you do? Bane activated and came back over here to finally manage to successfully take out Catwoman. 3 punches of his got through her defense 5 for 6 stun, knocking her out, so she will not be getting a turn. Didn't score any cards on it, but did remove her activation. So, oh, is that everybody for the Batman crew now? It is, because Alfred got taken out as well. There's only 2 conscious people and they both went, so who hasn't gone for Bane's crew? The mercenary and him, both without Audacity. So for those 2 last activations, an arrow was shot from him towards Batman. Actually, now that I think about it, he might not have been able to see him. He didn't do any damage regardless, but if that's outside of 6, he wouldn't have been able to see him anyway because of Master of Stealth. The Merc manipulated the Sword Ring, and it's popped out all the way over here, basically inside the deployment of where Batman's crew started, and that does take us to the recovery and recap for the penultimate battle round. So at the end of that battle round, everybody who was unconscious is awake. So the Acolyte there, Catwoman, and then the other Acolyte next to her. There is 1 Phase 4 card being played by the League. Do not deviate from the plan, for the opponent doesn't reveal any of your suspect markers, as long as you placed at least 1, and Talia did at least place 1. The Wait for Backup stays in play. There's 4 activations left for it to score for the JCPD Detective. Everyone who was conscious has healed 1 stun, and with that we go into the final battle round. So here's how the board's looking at the top of the final turn. It will be the Batman crew, what little of them there are left, pardon me, taking the first activation. Also, I'm fairly certain this counter did not get put down for Bane's turn, so I think it might need to be at 3. It's probably not going to matter either way because he's going to live, but yeah, I think that might have been done incorrectly. So everybody in the Batman crew has Audacity, of course, and Audacity for the League. Bane has it, he has it, Talia has it, and the Merc who took the Sword Ring last turn also has it. No cards being played in Phase 1 for either side, so we just go over to Batman crew's first activation unless for some reason they choose to pass. Catwoman activated, flipped to her feet with Acrobat, and then played They Must Know Pain as a resource to heal herself for 2 stun damage, just to improve her chances of staying conscious till the end of the round. Then she darted across here to Barsad, attacked him with her blood stun heals, did really, really well. He's only got a bulletproof vest, so he just defends it better against things with a firearm roll. 5 hits through for 5 blood, 5 stun. She double killed him because he's 5/5, and did manage to clean up a little quick 1 victory point for a dirty job, and obviously Barsad is not getting a turn. The freshly woken up Acolyte activated, flipped to his feet, suffered impaired movement, and went to attack Catwoman. Got 2 hits through with his combo knives and extra attacks, just for 1 blood each, so 2 blood there. Now you might notice there's markers on suspect markers. That's because another multiple threats has been played. 1 to 5 is covered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a good chance of that scoring at the end of the game. Christian Bale Batman activated. He's got base movement of 10, plus 4 for the mount, plus 2 for it being fast. I think all in all, well, plus it just has a plus 2 base move on equipping. So I think he has 20 inches of movement on the bike. It's amazing. So he covered a lot of ground. He went after Talia. He didn't do too well with his rolls, and she did very well with her defense. Only 1 punch got through for 2 stun, but that's enough. He wasn't trying to take her out. He just needed to do a bit of damage to get They Won't See Me Coming. Inflict damage on an enemy model that did not have line of sight at the start of the attacker's activation. Easy as that. Oh, also, this marker now is down to 1. So no matter who goes next, they're not going to stop at scoring. Talia activated, moved over here, revealed the suspect marker that had been at one point a snitch, and presumably can score the Fire Rises. Reveal an enemy suspect marker within 6 inches of your boss. She is within 6 inches of herself, so presumably that scores. But also, with the ticking down of that activation, wait for backup has also scored for the Batman crew. The JCPD detective walked out the crater over here to the suspect marker that had been there, revealed it, and scored a comb through everything for 2 victory points. So now it's just over to the remnants of the League, specifically Bane. Him up there is probably not going to do anything, so it's really just down to Bane and the Merc over there if they can do anything to score any cards. Of the 2 of them, only the Merc could do anything. He moved down here, he put down a suspect marker, and it was close enough to that one that it scored another under their noses. So that does take us to the end of the game. We have to very quickly check though to see if multiple threats has scored. A 4. Is the 4 the one that was removed, really? 1, 2, 3. It was the one that the JCPD detective removed, because that's 5 up there and it went around like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unbelievable. It didn't score. Huh. Alright, I think the Batman crew has taken this comfortably, amazingly, but let's just move that out of the way and see for sure. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Very healthy score, 25. I don't think the league's got anywhere close to that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You know, 17 isn't bad normally on the here anyway, but 25, yeah, 25 trounces 17 easily for the Batman crew to take an easy win. The Batmobile didn't really do much. Honestly, I think the Bat Pod is a lot better, which I think was true in 2nd edition as well. Having a league list led by Tom Hardy Bane is interesting. I don't know if it's good. It lets you bring Barsad, so I guess in a way that's good. Barsad has the strongest assault rifle in the game, much like one of the Arkham guards, but they're Eternal now. One of Penguin's goons has the same gun as well. But either way, that is going to do it for this battle report. We'll get a new table layout for next time. Had quite enough of this, whatever it was meant to be. We'll go back to the city of some variety. Thank you for watching this far. If you have though, please do share your support again, and I will see you in the future. Hopefully. Ta-ta for now.